Hi, I want to talk with you today. I want to ask you a question that may really provoke an emotion out of you. And I want to ask you, has the brook dried up? Has the brook dried up? We see this, for those of you who are familiar with the Bible, and there's actually a story of the prophet Elijah, and God had told him to go to a brook, and there I have supplied a raven and the birds to feed him. So he had went to this source that God originally told him to go to, that would supply his needs. And so then the Lord said, now go to Zarephath, because there's a widow woman who will now take care of you. And in the midst of that, the brook that he was relying on, that he was depending on to feed him, to supply his needs, had dried up. And so for some of you that are listening to this right now, maybe in your own life, there's something that has dried up, a source that you have been used to supplying your needs, a source that you believe that this is something that you were called to do a long time ago, or maybe if you are a believer and you know that God has called you to do this, whatever your situation may be. But now though, it seems as if it's dried up, right? It seems as if there's no more coming from it, and now you're not sure what to do. And what I want to ask you, could it be that now God wants you to try something new? Could it be that now there's a new direction, there's a new path that you're supposed to step into it? And one of these paths that it may be is that maybe God's leading you into entrepreneurship. Maybe God is leading you into business, right? And this is an area that you've been afraid of, you've been shy, you've held back because it's not familiar, right? It's not something that you've known before. Maybe nobody in your family has ever done business, but you are going to be the trailblazer. You are going to be the first generation to start that business. Or maybe you already have a business, but the business that you've been working on is no longer working. The business that you've been doing, the avenue you've been trying, is no longer breeding and brooding and harvesting the same thing that it once did before. And so now the thing is that it requires your response, right? It requires your response. Sometimes what we do is that we keep waiting for things to change, but we don't change, right? We keep waiting for things to improve, but we don't improve, right? And so you have to realize is that if something is drying up, and it's been drying up, then there's a requirement that you must make. There's something new that you need to shift, do differently, right? In order to arrive to that new territory, that new land, that new place of prosperity and good health, right? So I want to invite you to an opportunity to take advantage of this training that I have. It's called How to Start an Online Business, right? If you don't know anything about the business area, right? We're in a day and age now where a lot of things have shifted to the online world. And so if you're not leveraging that, right, you're missing out on a lot, right? And it doesn't require a large audience, it doesn't require a whole lot of skill. It requires a desire. It requires for you to start somewhere, right? It talks about, not to despise small beginnings, right? So I want to invite you to this webinar training. And this is really going to shift some things for you. It's going to give you some clarity. Maybe you've been looking at a business, but you just don't know what are the steps to get started in. What are the orders that you need to take? This is going to give you some really good instruction as far as what is, so to speak, the foundation that you need to get started with, right? What is the first step? So you're going to walk away from this training knowing exactly what you're supposed to do to get started with your online business. You're going to know exactly how to grow your audience, right? Even if you don't know anybody or nobody knows who you are, right? You're going to know exactly how to generate your first sale, right? You're going to know exactly, right, how to automate this. And, oh my goodness, you're going to learn what are the top 4 ways to monetize online. All right. So if you are ready, right? If you're ready, hey, I want to change my life, right? I want to make things better. I want to, and maybe you're already in a good place, but you know what? There's always a rainy day, right? You always want to be ready, right? In case things change, right? You want to be able to rely on multiple sources of income. So if that's you, if you're ready, if you want to learn about this special training, right, and be invited to this invitation, be invited to this opportunity, to something that can literally change the trajectory of your life, then go ahead, go to the link in my bio or go below this video, wherever you can see the link, and go ahead and sign up for this training. This training will be eye-opening. I got so much great feedback of people who went through this training and they said, oh my gosh, this was amazing information, right? There was things that people were able to take away with and actually implement and do from taking action and watching this training. So if you're ready, if you're excited, if you want to learn something that can make a shift, not like anything that's traditional, not like anything you maybe invested in before, but something that's totally different, then go ahead and take action on this training. All right, it's called How to Start an Online Business, and it's hosted by myself. All right, so I would love to see you in the training. I'm so excited, and I hope to see you there. All right, go ahead and go to the link and get started. All right, bye-bye.